Okay, so back live streaming again, second time today. Hopefully somebody might watch now, with it being a bit more of a decent time. So we are flying with Scandinavian Airlines, call sign Scandinavian 4418. We're flying from Oslo to Tromso, which should be a nice interesting approach. It's a 4-degree glide path going into Tromso, so it'll have to be configured a lot earlier. Anyway, I'm going to shut the hell up and start getting everything set up. Like I said, usually I'm using FS2 Crew with Beyond ATC. Can't even speak. Yeah, let's start getting things sorted, shall we? Let's start setting up.
Roger.
Let's get a bit of lighting here as well.
Realistic connected.
Let's get the Oslo ATIS tuned in. One 27155. Just wait until the first officer's got her floors done.
I'm out for the walk around.
Strobes, nav, no smoking lights, emergency exit lights, and engine 2 test. And engine 1. Okay, let's get that ATIS.
Dew point 01, QNH 1005, VFR conditions, landing runway 01 left, departing runways 01 left, 01 right, transition level 080. Read back all hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information Golf. Gardermoen Airport information Golf, 1705 Zulu, wind 260 at 3. Ceiling and visibility okay. Temperature 10. Dew point 01. QNH 1005. VF.
Okay, so my sim brief has actually got me down as runway 19 right, but as you can see, 01 right is the actual takeoff runway from the ATIS, but that's not going to be a drama. So, QNH 1005. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself initialized. What's going on there? What is my call sign? SAS, Sierra Alpha, Sierra 4418. Flex cost index is 7. Temperature was 10. tropopause is 29586. Let's get the wind linked in. And we are cruising at flight level 390. That gives us a cruise temperature of -44. Now, because the takeoff runway from Simbrief is different from the ATIS, I'm going to go and get clearance now. Gate number is 76. Is it 76? It is 76. ATIS was Golf and Echo November Golf Mike. While we're here, I'm going to write down the stats for the load sheet. Condition number 1, happy with that. So we're on 55.6 for 0 fuel weight. The takeoff weight is going to be 62.1. Our 0 fuel weight center of gravity is 30.9 and 29.1 for takeoff center of gravity, and our block is going to be 6.7. It might put 6.8 in because Fenix seems to be rounding things up for me at the moment. Okay, so there is the clearance. So we are going to be departing from 01 left using rib 1 alpha, squawking 6760.
I'm back. No issues on the walk around.
6760. And then tune to 121605. I really do need some sort of radio stack panel. Okay, Wilco. Okay, so we're good to go then. So and the alpha page is done. So from the flight plan page, 01 left. So it's not a rib. It looked like a B that, it's actually an E. So ribby 1 alpha. Let's get that in there. And we're obviously going to use the arrival that Simbrief is going to give us. So it's ILS runway 18. Using atweg 1 mic, and the via for that is non-room. Is that even in there? Yes, it is. Insert that, and we'll shut that up. Thank you very much. Check for any flight discontinuities, which there are none. Copy the active. I am not going to do an engine out procedure in the secondary flight plan page because I don't have any means of doing it. So that's that for now. Radnav. I need to change runway 19, so 01 left. Change that. So I have an iPad, an actual physical EFB right next to me, next to my flight seat here. All I'm doing now is I'm just swapping everything out from that runway to this one, changing the SID to see if there's any frequencies I need to tune into. And there isn't, so it's going to leave as it is. So I'm going to go to the init Bravo page now and import everything from the load. So,
hi, the security and safety checks are all done. Are we good to start boarding?
Cross runway 01 left at Alpha 6.
Okay.
Continue taxi via Charlie 2, Alpha 6, Victor, November, Alpha 1, Zanu Alpha Tango.
plan block 6.7. And now I'm just going to check on my operational flight plan that alternate is 0.9. Yep, that's all good to go. Right, let's get some takeoff performance input. Back to the Fenix app. So, takeoff weight was 62.1 and our takeoff center of gravity was 29.1. Our winds and our METAR all match up, so that's going to give us a V1 of 1, my fat fingers, 149. A VR of 149 as well. And our V2 of 150. Our transition altitude was 8,000 as per the ATIS. We were flaps 1, which is what the SimBrief agreed set to optimum on the takeoff calculator, so that's what I'm going with. My flex temp is 68. Just need to go into FS2 Crew now. Again, I've got that link to my iPad. It does actually show on the screen on my top left, but you can't see it because the stream only shows the full screen. So the flight sim basically. So everything matches on there, apart from transition altitude and my center of gravity takeoff, which is 29.1.
Go ahead, no questions.
And that is the world's quickest departure briefing ever. Okay, so we've got 6,800 kilograms of fuel on board, so actually I'm going to go back into my init V page, change that to 6.8. Cool. So we are fully fueled up. So we can get the seatbelt lights on. Let's brighten the cockpit up a little bit. Get the fuel pumps. Hold on. Let's get this cockpit preparation checklist done from FS2 Crew. Cockpit preparation checklist.
Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Fuel quantity.
6,800 kilograms.
Seat belts.
On.
Daniel Alpha
Adiers.
Tango, contact Gardermoen
Now.
Tower 118.
Faro ref
Decimal 305.
1005 set.
1
Over to
0
tower 118.305.
5. Set cockpit
Zanu
preparation
Alpha Tango.
checklist completed.
And there we go, and now it's just a waiting game now to get everything good to go. What I've not done actually, I've forgotten to do, is check what my initial flight climb clearance is. 7,000 feet, and get the constraints, put into the EFIS, and yeah, I am pretty much good to go. There's our passengers taking their jolly time. But it's fine, we've got plenty of time.
KLM 1149, ramp 319 Sierra taxi via Charlie.
Ramp 319 Sierra via Charlie, KLM 1149.
Nordic 628, at ramp 173, request pushback and engine start.
Hi guys, here's the load sheet for you.
Nordic 628, Gardermoen on ground, pushback approved, face west.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Pushback
Have a safe
approved.
day.
Face west.
FAU
Nordic
on.
628. Nordic 628. Request taxi to the active.
Nordic 628, runway 01 left taxi via Papa, November Alpha 1.
Runway 01 left taxi via Papa, November, Alpha 1, Nordic 628.
Nordic 9 Tango, gate 9 a taxi via Charlie 1, Alpha 4, Kilo, Kilo 1.
Gate 9 via Charlie 1, Alpha 4, Kilo, Kilo 1, Nordic 9 Tango.
Nordic 9 Tango, cross runway 01 left at Charlie 1. Continue taxi via Alpha 4, Kilo 1.
Cross runway 01 left at Charlie 1. Continue taxi via Alpha 4, Kilo 1, Nordic 9 Tango.
Let's get the APU bleed on then. Make the passengers a bit more
Red
comfortable.
Nose 9, Victor Romeo.
And we get
Ramp
external power
173
off, good to
taxi
go, ready
via
for
Charlie
when.
1, Alpha 4, Kilo 2.
We're all loaded on, we can get clearance to push back and start
Ramp
and then get out of here.
173 via Charlie 1, Alpha 4, Kilo 2, Red Nose 9 Victor Romeo.
Ladies and gentlemen, while we make our final preparations for departure, I would like to introduce you to our safety procedures. Please make sure that your hand luggage doesn't block the aisles or exits by using the overhead lockers or the area under the seat in front of you. Place items far forward.
Red Nose 9, Victor Romeo. Cross runway 01 left at Charlie 1. Continue taxi via Alpha 4, Kilo 2.
Cross runway 01 left at Charlie 1. Continue taxi via Alpha 4, Kilo 2, Red Nose 9 Victor Romeo.
Electronic equipment such as games, computing and word processing equipment may interfere with the aircraft system and must be switched off during takeoff and landing. Portable telephones must be switched off for the duration of the flight. Please fasten your seatbelts ready for departure and make yourself comfortable.
All aircraft be advised, information hotel now current, QNH1006.
Okay, so we're not that far off now. I'm pretty sure the all passengers are boarded up. Just waiting for FS2 crew to let me know that we're good to close the doors, and then we can get the before start checklist done, and then collect clearance to get the hell out of here. We should now have the final load sheet, which we do. Compliance with edition number 1. Compliance with edition number 1. I need to learn to talk. So we are good to go.
Hey guys, all packs are on board.
There she
Are we
is.
clear to close?
Clear to close.
Thanks, let me know if you need anything.
Okay then, so let's get our beacon on and get the before start checklist completed. Before start checklist.
Parking brake.
Set,
Takeoff speeds and thrust.
set and checked.
V1 149. VR 149. V2 150. Flex temp 8 degrees. Windows.
Closed.
Beacon.
On.
Before start checklist completed.
Cool, time to get some clearance. Oslo ground, this is Scandinavian 4418, ready for push and start.
Scandinavian 4418, Gardermoen ground, pushback approved. Face south.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face south, Scandinavian 4418.
So let's have a quick look at the charts and weather pots appear at gate 76.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Facing south will be a nose right turn.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted. Locking gear. Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Starting engine 2. Starting engine 2.
Okay.
Starting engine 1.
Okay.
Engine mode selected back to normal. APU bleed off. APU master off.
This says parking brakes.
Parking brake on. After start checklist.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Ecom status.
Checked.
Pitch trim.
Set and checked.
Rudder trim.
Neutral.
After start
Unlocking
checklist
gear.
completed.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Okay, all good. Push back. Both engines spooled up. After start checklist is complete. Time to get some ground clearance to taxi to the runway. So, Oslo ground. This is Scandinavian 4418. Ready for taxi.
Scandinavian 4418, runway 01 left taxi via Delta, Hotel Golf, November, Alpha 1.
Runway 01 left taxi via Delta, Hotel, Golf, November, Alpha 1, Scandinavian 4418.
Okay, let's get going. Clear left side.
Clear right side.
Brake check.
Pressure 0.
Flight controls check.
Ready? Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Let's get on to hotel.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Rudder.
Full left. Full right. Neutral.
I do like the way the night ambience shines in the airports. I do like night flying, it's just there's not a lot to see. Although I presume there's going to be quite a lot of nice ambience coming into Tromso. let's get the taxi checklist done. Taxi checklist.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Checked. Flap setting.
Config 1 plus F.
Config 1 plus F. Radar and predictive wind shear system.
On and auto.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Ecom memo.
Takeoff, no blue.
Taxi checklist completed.
Ladies and gentlemen, all portable electronic equipment and mobile phones should be switched off as we are now about to start our pre-flight safety briefing. We are now going to take you through our safety procedures and equipment. As this information is for your benefit, we ask you to watch and listen carefully. The safety card in your seat area
I do prefer the
tells you escape
IAE engines when it comes to taxiing. You can just pretty much let it idle.
It also shows
And
the brake
depending on your weight, obviously, you can just pretty much cruise down to the runway. I chose the AIE, I don't know why. I always pick my flights, I kind of copy real world flights from Flight Radar 24. Now this actual airline, Scandinavian Airlines, for this flight is actually an A320 Neo. Now the Fenix don't have a Neo. I don't know why, I think the IAE is closest we can get to a Neo.
When the fasten seatbelt signs are on, you must go back to your seat and fasten your seatbelt securely. For your own comfort and safety, we recommend you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times and visible to avoid being disturbed in flight. If the cabin air supplies fail, oxygen will be provided. Masks like this will appear automatically. Stay in your seat and pull a mask towards you. This will open your oxygen supply.
Scandinavian 4418, contact Gardermoen Tower 118, decimal 305, bye-bye.
Do make sure you're
Over to Tower 118, decimal 305, Scandinavian 4418. Have a good afternoon.
Your life jacket is underneath or beside your seat. In the event of landing on water,
Oslo Tower, this is Scandinavian 4418, ready for departure.
pass the tapes round your waist and tie them securely in a double bow at the side.
Scandinavian 4418, Gardermoen Tower, wind 230 at 5, runway 01 left, cleared for takeoff.
There is a whistle here for a
Runway 01 left, cleared for takeoff. Scandinavian 4418.
You are outside the aircraft. We
Cleared for
will supply
departure.
life cots for babies and life jackets for infants. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, please
Takeoff
note
runway
the safety
confirmed.
card and take notice
Approach
of the
path
fasten
clear of
seatbelt
traffic.
sign. May we remind you that electrical portable items such as games, computing and word processing equipment may interfere with the aircraft systems and must be switched off during takeoff and landing. Portable telephones must be switched off while the aircraft engines are running. As this is a no smoking service, the no smoking signs will remain on for the duration of the flight.
Lineup
Smoking is
checklist.
not permitted at any time
Takeoff
while
runway.
on board. If you have any
Runway
questions,
01
please
left,
ask one of the crew.
confirmed.
Thank you.
Confirmed.
Runway 19, right, confirmed. TCAS.
TARA.
Packs 1 and 2.
Off.
Lineup checklist completed.
Takeoff.
Check.
Manflex 68 SRS runway, auto thrust blue.
Checked. Thrust set. knots. V1, rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Scandinavian 44 Contact Oslo departure 120.455.
Contact Oslo departure 120.455, Scandinavian 4418.
Climb thrust.
Packs are
Oslo
on.
departure, Scandinavian 4418, good afternoon, 2,000 feet.
Scandinavian 4418, Oslo departure. Good afternoon, identified. Climb to flight level 190.
Climb to flight level 190, Scandinavian 4418.
Flaps 0.
Speed checked. Flaps 0.
Autopilot 1 on. Okay, so flight level 180 and going straight to 180. I guess we can set the QNH to standard.
Standard cross-checked. Passing flight level 0, 4, 6. Now.
Seatbelts off.
Oslo departure.
Clear rad now.
Scandinavian 283, 1,700 feet. Scandinavian 283, Oslo departure. Good afternoon, identified. Climb to flight level 150. Climb to flight level 150. Scandinavian 283. 4418. Contact Polaris Control 118.55.
Center on 118.55, Scandinavian 418. Polaris Control, Scandinavian 4418, out of flight level 167 for flight level 190, direct PMIS.
Scandinavian 4418, Polaris Control, identified climb to flight level 390.
Climb to flight level 390, Scandinavian 4418.
Okay, 390 is in the FCU. And we are good to go. We are flying to Tromso, everyone.
Scandinavian 4117, contact Oslo approach 118.48.
Contact Oslo approach 118.48, Scandinavian 4117.
Scandinavian 4042, Polaris Control, expect rebound for a mic, runway 19 right.
Expect right hand for Mike. Runway 19 right, Scandinavian 4042.
Scandinavian 222, descend to flight level 090.
Descend to flight level 090, Scandinavian 222.
Control, Scandinavian 283, crossing flight level 120 for flight level 150, direct GM 451.
Scandinavian 283, Polaris Control, radar contact, climb to flight level 300.
Climb to flight level 300, Scandinavian 283.
Scandinavian 222, contact Oslo approach 118.48.
Contact Oslo approach 118.48, Scandinavian 222.
So I guess I'm just going to sit here for a while and just enjoy the, you know, I love flight simming, I really do. But the setting up of everything, getting it off the ground, landing obviously is the highlight of simming. This bit in between, not so much. But I'm guessing that's what real world pilots have to go through. Obviously they have their fuel checks at the relevant stages of the cruise, but how am I going to do that? Cool, so I'll mute my mic now and then you'll hear from me when I comes to land. See you in a bit.
Scandinavian 462, descend to flight level 090.
Descend to flight level 090, Scandinavian 462.
Scandinavian 462, contact Oslo approach 118.48.
Contact Oslo approach 118.48, Scandinavian 462.
Scandinavian 284, Polaris control, expected OP3 Mike, runway 19 right.
Expected OP3 Mike, runway 19 right, Scandinavian 284.
Danu Alpha Tango, contact Åland approach 126.2.
Contact Åland approach 126.2, Danu Alpha Tango.
1,000 to go.
Nordic 431, Polaris Control, expect Belgu 3 Mike, runway 19 right.
Expect Belgu 3 Mike, runway 19 right, Nordic 431.
Wizz Air 3055, contact Sweden Control 118.0.
Center on 118.0, Wizz Air 3055.
Wideroo 36 Whiskey, contact Flesland approach 126.105.
Contact Flesland approach 126.105. Wideroo 36 Whiskey.
Nordic 431, Belgu 3 Mike, runway 19 right. Report ready for descent.
Belgu 3 Mike, runway 19 right, ready for descent, Nordic 431.
Nordic 431, descend to flight level 110.
Descend to flight level 110, Nordic 431. Nordic 1 Romeo Alpha, descending via receiver 4 Mike, flight level 151.
Nordic 1 Romeo Alpha, Polaris control, radar contact. 283, descend to flight level 130.
Descend to flight level 130, Scandinavian 283.
Nordic 1 Romeo Alpha, contact Oslo, approach 118.48.
Contact Oslo approach 118.48, Nordic 1 Romeo Alpha.
Scandinavian 283, descend to flight level 080.
Descend to flight level 080, Scandinavian 283.
Scandinavian 283, contact Flesland, approach 126.105. 4095, Polaris Control, expect Bellevue 3 Mike, runway 19 right.
Expect Bellevue 3 Mike, runway 19 right, Scandinavian 4095.
Scandinavian 885, Polaris Control, radar contact. Nordic 431, contact Oslo approach 118 decimal 48.
Contact Oslo approach 118 decimal 48, Nordic 431.
Scandinavian 4042, we pump for the mic, runway 19 right, report ready for descent.
Right ham for Mike, runway 19 right, ready for descent, Scandinavian 4042.
Scandinavian 4042, descend to 5,000 feet, QNH 1006.
Descend to 5,000 feet, Scandinavian 4042.
Scandinavian 4042, contact Oslo approach 118 decimal 48.
Contact Oslo approach 118 decimal 48, Scandinavian 4042.
Scandinavian 4095, Bellevue 3 Mike, runway 19 right, report ready for descent.
Bellevue 3 Mike, runway 19 right, ready for descent, Scandinavian 4095.
Scandinavian 4095, descend to flight level 110.
Descend to flight level 110, Scandinavian 4095.
Scandinavian 885, contact Oslo approach 118 decimal 48.
Contact Oslo approach 118 decimal 48, Scandinavian 885.
Control, Scandinavian 4434. Good evening. Through flight level 150 for flight level 180.
Scandinavian 4434, Polaris Control, radar contact, climb to flight level 370.
Climb to flight level 370, Scandinavian 4434.
Scandinavian 4434A, contact Sweden Control 118.0.
Center on 118.0, Scandinavian 4434. Have a good evening.
Scandinavian 4581, contact via NS approach 118.605.
Contact VANS approach 118.605, Scandinavian 4581.
421 Echo. Polaris Control, expect radar vectors. RNAV Yankee runway 20.
Expect radar vectors. RNAV Yankee runway 20. Wide road 21 Echo.
Scandinavian 44018, contact Sweden Control 118.0. Have a good evening.
Center on 118.0. Scandinavian 4418. Bye-bye. Sweden Control, Scandinavian 4418, flight level 390.
Scandinavian 4418, Sweden Control, identified. 418, Sweden Control, expect at wake 1 Mike, runway 18. Scandinavian 4418, Sweden Control, expect at wake 1 Mike, runway 18. Scandinavian 4418, Sweden Control.
Scandinavian 4418.
Scandinavian 4418, verify instruction.
Expect Atway 1 Mike, runway 18, Scandinavian 4418. Scandinavian 4418, ready for descent.
Scandinavian 4418, at wake 1 Mike, runway 18, descend to flight level 230.
At wake 1 Mike, runway 18, descend to flight level 230, Scandinavian 4418.
You have control. You have control. You have control.
I have control. Go ahead, no questions.
I have control. I have control.
You have control.
So, we are now on our descent now. Down to Tromso. Clear down to flight level 230. Just had a look at the METAR there for runway 18. Not too bad, you know. Pretty cold over there. It's 6 degrees Celsius. QNH is 992. And winds are variable at 3 miles per hour, so it should be a pretty straight landing. It is a 4-degree glide slope though, so we're going to have to get configured quite early, at least get flaps 2 out with the landing gear down. But we don't start the final path until 10.6 miles out, so we've got plenty of time. Just did the calculations as well for landing performance, and we can get away with auto brakes set to low. What I might do actually is put a fix around the runway threshold of 11 miles, just to make sure that I'm configured by before we start a final descent onto the runway. So fix info. Airport code, is Echo November Tango Charlie. Runway 18. And we'll put a radius of, we'll just say 11 miles. So that's in there now. So as you can see on the flight display there. Let's get zoomed in a little bit. See, now we have the, there you go, we have the radius around the runway threshold. So as long as I've got gear down and flaps 2 out for that, I shouldn't have any dramas, but we will see. So missed approach for this then. If we absolutely screw it up, we need to climb straight ahead to 3000 or to distance of 7.7 on the ILS frequency, whichever is earlier, and then we do a right turn and intercept the Kilo Victor localizer. So I'll get that set in now actually. And that is 362.0. Yep, 362.0 is correct. Now, so we know where we're going in case we have to go around. However, that's not going to happen because we're going to absolutely boss this landing.
Scandinavian
1,000 to
4418,
go.
descend to 5,000 feet. QNH0992.
Descend to 5,000 feet. QNH 0992. Scandinavian 4418.
So QNH 992 set, down to 5,000 feet. We're going to have to get the speed brakes out a little bit, start descending a little bit quicker.
2, set, passing, 2, 1,600. Now.
Snowy mountains. I do mean to visit Norway one day. Pretty sure that's Tromso in the distance actually. If you just look over the middle where you can see the middle pillar of the actual screen, the aircraft screen that is, you can see an island all lit up. Pretty sure 99% that that's Tromso. island of Tromso. Is it the island of Tromso? Or is it just a city of Tromso? Town of Tromso? Who knows? But there it is anyway. And you can actually see, if you look hard enough, you can see the runways. Well, the runway. That's not a bad view at all, is it, from a simulator?
Scandinavian 4418, contact Tromso, approach 123.755.
Contact Tromso, approach 123.755, Scandinavian 4418. Tromso, Scandinavian 4418, flight level 109er, we have whiskey.
Scandinavian 4418 Tromso approach, QNH 09er 902. Expect the ILS Zulu runway 18 with the non-route transition.
QNH 09er 902, expect the ILS Zulu runway 18 with the non-route transition, Scandinavian 4418.
Scandinavian 4418, cleared direct non-route. Cross non-route at or above 5,000 feet, cleared ILS Zulu runway 18.
Cleared direct non-route, cross non-route at or above 5,000 feet, cleared ILS Zulu, runway 18, Scandinavian 4418.
Well, we're already direct to a non-route anyway, so we don't need to input anything into the MTDU. But what I'm going to do now is the approach checklist, and then I'm going to try and get my speed down so I can get flaps 1 out. Approach checklist.
Faro ref.
992 set.
992 set. Seatbelt.
On.
Minimum.
321 feet set.
Auto brake.
I'm actually going to go for medium, so medium armed. Medium armed.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Approach checklist completed.
Activate approach phase. Now, the approach phase is now activated, but I need to slow down now so I can get flaps 1 out. Flaps 1. Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1. 1,000 to go.
Flaps 2.
Speed checked. Flaps 2.
Arm approach. Okay, let's ding the cabin and get the lights dim.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for landing.
Okay, there's the runway in sight. Flaps 3.
Speed checked. Flaps 3.
Scandinavian 4418, contact Tromso Tower 118, decimal 305, bye-bye.
Contact Tower 118, decimal 305, Scandinavian 4418. Tromso Tower, Scandinavian 4418, ILS Zulu runway 18.
Scandinavian 4418, Tromso Tower, wind variable, runway 18, cleared to land.
Runway 18, cleared to land, Scandinavian 4418.
Gear down.
Gear down.
Flaps full.
Speed checked. Flaps full.
Landing checklist.
Econ memo.
Landing no blue.
Landing checklist completed.
Okay, so I'm going to disengage the autopilot
Radar
and handball it
altimeter
all the way
alive.
down there. Let's see if we get a better landing than the last one. It is a 4-degree glide slope, so it's a lot steeper than I'm used to, but I'm sure I'll manage it. So here we go. I have control.
You have control.
As you can see, that's me steering now.
1000. Sink rate.
$500.
$100 above. Minimums.
Minimum.
Continue.
Checked.
Glide slow. Glide slow.
50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
Spoilers. Reverse green. To south.
A little bit harsh on that landing.
70 knots.
Scandinavian 4418, exit right at Bravo.
Exit right at Bravo, Scandinavian 4418.
Now, I'm not too sure what Beyond ATC is playing at, because they should have handed me over to ground by now.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the captain and the entire crew, we'd like to welcome you to our destination. For your safety, please remain...
Tromso, hello. This is Scandinavian 4418. Request taxi to assigned parking.
Before you leave the aircraft, please ensure you have all your personal items and hand luggage.
Scandinavian 4418, gate 20, taxi at pilot's discretion.
Gate 20, taxi at my discretion. Scandinavian 4418.
Well, here is 20. Almost went past it. You obviously would not do that in real life, but I am here now.
And hold a boarding card and transfer wallet advising you of your departure terminal.
So I'm guessing Tromso being so small, we're just using approach for everything. After landing checklist.
Radar and predictive wind shear system.
Off.
After landing checklist completed.
Not have a boarding card, please go directly to the flight connections desk. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the entire airline, thank you very much for choosing to fly with us today, and we hope to see you again in the near future. Thank you.
Okay, beacon off, seatbelts off. There we go, the jetways all connected, ready for our passengers to get off. Not the worst landing, but also not the best. There's always room for improvement, isn't there? Parking checklist.
Parking brake or chocks.
Set.
Engines.
Off.
Wing lights.
Off.
Are you sure about that? Fuel pumps.
Off.
Parking checklist completed.
So, not a bad flight. Can't complain with that one. So, thanks for watching, all those invisible people out there, and maybe my friend Lisa. Pretty happy with that flight actually. Nobody died.
All aircraft
Didn't
be advised,
crash.
information X-ray now current.
Didn't have to do
QNH
a go around.
09001.
So, yeah. So that's me done. If you want to watch my passengers getting off, feel free. But yeah, see you later.